Hey guys, just a reminder, this is not official medical advice. For such, please seek an appointment with a licensed medical provider. Welcome back everybody to another episode of Explain This. I'm with the star of the show, Robin Riddle. Robin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am wonderful, and what people watching probably don't know is, a lot of times, I come in blind to the topic, and for this episode, I'm completely blind. What are we talking about today?
Oh yeah, I haven't even told you yet. Today we're going to talk about melatonin and
Okay.
do a little bit of a deep dive.
Nice. I love this topic. I'm so glad we're doing an Explain This on it. Tell us about melatonin.
All right. So everybody's probably heard of melatonin. It's a hormone and well known for helping with sleep. But what I want to talk about today is all the other amazing things that melatonin can do for us. So lots of cool things to dive into. I'm going to go over how it's made, what influences the production of melatonin, all the great things it can do.
Melatonin explained. Here we go.
Yes. Okay, so melatonin is a hormone that is primarily produced in the pineal gland in response to darkness.
Okay.
So it helps to regulate your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock, by signaling when it's time to go to sleep.
Okay.
But melatonin is so much more than just a sleep aid. It's a neuroprotective antioxidant. It can help to support immune balance. It can promote cellular repair. And of course, it even has an influence in fertility. I always dive into that as well. So your natural melatonin is made from tryptophan. Tryptophan converts into serotonin, which then converts into melatonin. And that conversion process to make natural melatonin requires magnesium, vitamin B6, folate, and then a healthy gut microbiome, because a lot of the production of serotonin happens in the gut. So if we don't have a healthy gut, it can have a major influence on sleep because we can't produce the serotonin that then converts into and produces the melatonin. So everything comes back to the gut.
Robin, when you I remember with the NAD episode, we started talking about conversions. Conversions throw me off big time. Okay, to activate this, we got to do something over here. So melatonin's the same way?
Melatonin's the same way. So you have to have what's called your cofactors. And so the cofactors are the magnesium, B6, and folate.
Okay.
So they're like the extra keys to make that process happen.
Got it.
So if you don't have appropriate cofactors, you're not going to be able to make that conversion process happen.
And a healthy gut being the most important cofactor.
Healthy gut is very important. Yeah. So your body's going to naturally produce melatonin at nighttime. It usually peaks around 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. is your highest natural production of melatonin, assuming that you're in the dark. This is one of the things I always tell patients. We need to be asleep in a cool, dark space. Yeah. So any kind of light disruption is going to disrupt your melatonin levels. So if you've got a street light that shines in, you've got a night light on in the room, all of that actually is very disruptive to your natural melatonin production and can decrease your sleep quality. Melatonin will naturally, your levels naturally decline with age. And interestingly enough, babies don't produce their own melatonin until they are 3 to 4 months old.
That's interesting.
I know. So babies rely on mom's melatonin production coming through breast milk.
Okay.
If you're formula feeding, I guess you're just not getting melatonin. So I used to be a lactation counselor, and we would have moms date and time the milk that they would pump, because you don't want to give nighttime milk during the day or daytime milk during the night, because it can have melatonin in the nighttime milk.
That's interesting, and it's all determined on when you use a breast pump.
Yeah. So if mom is waking up and pumping in the middle of the night and storing the breast milk that she's pumping, she's going to have some melatonin in that breast milk. So it would be better then to feed that milk in a nighttime feeding.
That's wild.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's cool.
So lots of things will disrupt melatonin's natural production. Blue light exposure is a huge one. So, sitting doom scrolling on your phone or your iPad or whatever as you're going to bed actually disrupts the signal to produce melatonin. Watching TV, any kind of LED lighting in the room, any kind of blue light exposure before bed is actually really bad for sleep hygiene, as we call it.
Yeah.
Chronic stress, elevated cortisol is disruptive. Like I said, gut health. So poor gut health is going to disrupt production. Late night eating actually disrupts melatonin levels, and then blood sugar spikes during the night, usually coming from that late night eating, will also disrupt production of melatonin.
Interesting. Okay, back to insulin resistance there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It all circles around. So yeah, even small amounts of light. There was a study done in 2011 that showed even small amounts of light during sleep, like I said, coming from a street light, can suppress melatonin release by up to 80%. So cool, dark room is where we need to be sleeping.
There we go. And what that does is that enhances our own production of melatonin.
Yep. Our natural production.
We're not into supplementing yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
So one of the other big things that will disrupt melatonin is shift work. And I can speak well to this. I was a night shift nurse for 7 years. I felt like I never slept well and was chronically exhausted for 7 years.
It's such a big problem. And
yeah, it is.
And I don't know, based on what I'm hearing from you and Doc and all of our providers, it's very difficult to get healthy when you have that sort of break in your natural sleep cycle.
So there was actually a study back in 2007 that they classified night shift work as a probable carcinogen due in part to your chronic suppression in melatonin production.
Wow.
Probable carcinogen just to work night shift.
I mean, that goes to show kind of the theme of the episode today is, just how important sleep is.
Yeah, sleep is so important.
God, okay.
And sleeping at the times that you're supposed to be sleeping.
Yeah.
So working nights and then sleeping during the day puts your body really out of sync with the natural light dark cycle. Yeah. So even if you're going home and doing blackout blinds and sleeping in total darkness during the day, your melatonin production is still significantly lower than it would be when you're sleeping at night.
That's so interesting. Yeah. I'm probably jumping ahead here, but I've also heard there are other uses for melatonin when you don't take it at night. There's if you use it for some longevity potentially.
It can actually has some anti-aging benefits to it. It's crazy. Just the sleep hormone. But yeah, so working night shift, having those low melatonin levels has been linked to increased risks of insulin resistance, cancers, and accelerated aging.
Wow.
And then, of course, on the fertility side of things, it can definitely throw off the rhythm of hormones whenever you work night shift. So all the great things that melatonin can do for us. Like I said, it does have some anti-aging benefits to it. It is a very potent antioxidant, which a lot of people don't think about melatonin being an antioxidant, but it actually protects the mitochondria in your cells from oxidative stress. It can protect the neurons in your brain from damage and inflammation. On the fertility side of things, melatonin protects egg and sperm from any kind of DNA fragmentation, so healthier egg and sperm with better melatonin levels. Improves your mood, improves circadian rhythm. We actually see lower depression rates with better melatonin levels. Melatonin can protect your heart, your blood vessels. It can even help recover with autoimmune disorders. It's an immune modulator. So melatonin helps your body to repair itself while you're sleeping. So that immune modulation, it can calm down a overactive immune system, or it can upregulate an underactive immune system.
Wow.
Yeah. There's even some preliminary studies that suggest that melatonin could inhibit cancer cell growth, especially like breast and prostate cancers.
You keep referring to melatonin levels. You can measure this?
You can measure melatonin.
Wow,
There's a
I didn't realize that.
saliva test that we can do.
Wow. Okay,
Mhm.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you want it higher at night, obviously.
Yes. Yeah. We
Okay.
want melatonin to be higher at night.
Okay.
So yes, we can improve natural melatonin levels, but we can also supplement melatonin. So taking supplemental melatonin definitely has some pros and cons. It can help with insomnia, so helps us get to sleep, stay asleep. If we have any kind of jet lag or like a disruption in that circadian rhythm, melatonin can help to correct that. I use this a lot, and I'll get into this a little bit more, but I use it a lot in the fertility world. Neurological immune conditions, like we were talking about. So, in supplementing, we typically start low and go to about a max of about 3 milligrams is where I usually take people. So you can start as low as, 0.3 to 1 milligram and increase as needed. 3 milligrams is my typical dose for most patients. So higher doses, 10 milligrams plus, can cause, really crazy dreams. It can make you really groggy the next day. We can get headaches from too much melatonin. And so it can actually be disruptive to certain hormone production. So chronic melatonin use in high doses can disrupt your LH and FSH levels, luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. These are primary sex hormones. So they help with estrogen, progesterone, testosterone production. So for women, it signals ovulation. For men, it signals sperm production. If we're using really high doses of melatonin long term, we can actually suppress all of that.
Wow. And high being anything above 10 milligrams?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Geez.
And if we're doing this with adolescents, that's a big issue because it can actually delay the onset of puberty, which has been shown through several studies that high doses of melatonin can delay puberty onset, both in animal and human studies. So we've got to be careful with it.
Yeah.
We don't want those chronic high doses. But when taken appropriately, we don't see any evidence that chronic melatonin use will cause suppression of your body's natural melatonin. There's no addictive properties to it. So it's all about taking it appropriately.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because you still want your body to produce its own.
Yeah.
And then the supplement you're saying is just a kind of an adjunctive function.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Little
meant to
added.
replace it.
Yeah, little added bit.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I use this a lot in fertility. That's probably one of the biggest places that I'm recommending melatonin. And this is because it actually helps to protect the eggs from oxidative stress, improves mitochondrial function within the oocytes or the eggs. It can even improve IVF outcomes. There was a 2013 study that showed women undergoing IVF that took 3 milligrams of melatonin nightly had significantly improved egg quality and embryo quality just from that low dose of melatonin.
And for that, still taking it at night?
Still taking it at night, yeah. In men, for fertility, melatonin can reduce sperm DNA fragmentation. Again, the antioxidant effect, and it can improve sperm motility and morphology. So for my couples trying to conceive, 35 and over, or anyone that I see like a lower egg count, low AMH, things like that, melatonin is always on the list. It's always 3 milligrams or less, but melatonin is always on my list of things to help in that situation.
That's super interesting. Is there, you might be getting to this here in a bit, is there a brand you like or, an oral melatonin versus, maybe drops? What's your preference?
Yeah, so I'm not super picky whenever it comes to brand. Of course, we've got, Life Extension does have melatonin as long as you can get the dose correct.
Okay.
We want that 3 milligrams or less.
Okay.
Personally, I take a melatonin gummy at night before bed. That's just the one that I've gotten onto. I think Natural is the brand, Neutral, something like that. It's just a 3 milligram gummy that I take right before I go to bed at night.
I'm taking a gummy too.
Yeah. So I like the gummies, but you can do it in pill form. The big thing is just making sure that we're getting appropriate dosing. I've seen melatonin in pill form that's 10, 15, 20, 30 milligrams, like crazy high doses. We don't want to be doing anything like that.
Okay.
So Biggest tip coming out of this, of course, always consult with a physician if you have any questions about supplementations. Keep your doses low, max of 3 milligrams. Take it about half an hour before you're going to bed. Take it at night, preferably. We want to avoid daytime use unless it is medically supervised because of the disruption to hormones that it can cause. If you're on it long term, you can consider cycling on and off. But again, if we keep those doses low, around 3 milligrams, we shouldn't really run into any major suppression issues. So yeah, I love melatonin. Lots of extra uses for it.
That's super interesting, Robin. I love this. Explain this topic. And you mentioned 30 minutes prior to bed. I've always thought, okay, because I kind of have a hard time going to sleep.
Yeah.
The earlier the better, like in terms of, relative to when I go to bed. Is there something special about the 30 minutes, or is it just you're just trying to get it before, like 2 minutes before you go to bed?
You want to take it as you're settling down because
Okay.
again, light disrupts melatonin. So
Okay.
if you take this and it's still daylight outside, or you're up moving around, or you take it and you're watching TV, or you take it and you're going to be on your phone afterwards, all of those things can actually disrupt melatonin. So then it could kind of be fighting against what you're supplementing.
Totally.
So
Okay.
we want to take this and settle down, be ready to go to bed.
So you're saying my routine of melatonin then watching a Netflix show is not ideal?
Probably not the best. Probably not the best. That might be why you're having trouble sleeping. Now, if you did that, but then put on your blue light blocking glasses, or like the cool little amber driving glasses that are going to block that blue light, you might be able to get away with that.
Okay.
But otherwise, not so much.
All right, I love it. This was a really, really cool episode. Robin, anything else before we call it a pod?
Nope, that's it.
All right, guys, this has been Explain This. You guys name it, we explain it. Thank y'all for hanging out. Robin, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
See you guys.
Don't go away.